Well, what kind of dog is it?
It's an otter dog. You know, an Otterhound? I wish I had a farthing for every time I've been asked that question.
A what?
An Otterhound.
A what hound?
An Otterhound.
Well, what's an Otterhound?
It's a hound that was meant to hunt otters.
Are you serious? Surely you don't mean those cute little animals that run and swim and play around the lakes and rivers.
I do mean those cute little animals that run and swim and play around the lakes and rivers and streams. And don't call me Shirley.
Well, why would you ever want to hunt them? They're so cute.
Well, they're cute, but they're also really hungry. And when they're hungry, guess what they like to eat? Fish. So they eat all the fish in the streams, the ponds, the rivers, everywhere they can find them.
Well, so what?
This person is really dumb. I need some help up here. Is there anybody here who could come up and hold this beast for me while I tell this woman what she needs to know? All right, come on up here. Yes, you. He's really wild. He might get away, so don't let him go. Well, we eat fish too. The queen, the royalty, the monks, the clergy, the squires, the nobility, even the peasants need fish to eat. It's a huge part of our diet. We even keep large stew ponds to raise carp and other fish.
Ooh, carp, my favorite. Yeah. Well, so why can't you just buy some fish?
Yeah, sure. We'll just stroll on down to the harbor fish market and get some fish. No, you can't just buy them. That's the point. Where does anyone get fish if the otters eat them all?
Well, maybe you could just skip the fish.
Sure, we'll go to the Longhorn Steakhouse instead. You're missing the point. We need fish to eat on Fridays and Saturdays and Wednesdays, especially during Lent, because it's the church rules.
So, you're going to hunt otters with that? Tell me, how does he hunt otters? Can he swim?
Well, sure. Look, he's got really nice webbed feet. So they don't call it the doggy paddle for nothing.
Now, seriously, how does Mr. Ball of Fire here hunt?
Well, they don't go alone. They hunt in packs. And only the kings and queens and nobles can have a pack.
Well, what about the peasants?
Well, there's 47% of them we don't care about. The rest are on their own.
So how does this pack thing work?
Well, there's this guy called the Royal Master of the Otterhounds, kind of like a tour guide. He takes the pack out usually sometime between July and September, when the Queen and her party are staying at one of the Crown estates. He might already have an otter bagged for the royal visitors, or he might harbor an otter so he knows where he could easily find one for the Queen on the day.
Wait. You say they might already have an otter bagged? Well, what fun is that?
Well, you know, the royals always have to get their way. It's like Barack Obama playing basketball with Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. They let him score.
Who's Barack Obama?
Never mind. The otter control is important, and the huntsman's wages are often supplemented by a bounty, paid for each otter he accounted for.
Oh, kind of like the IRS employees getting bonuses.
What's an IRS?
Oh, never mind.
Everybody likes the skins. There's one guy or woman, sometimes the king or queen, that is the hunt master, but usually she gives that job to one of her men. And then there's the helpers called whips that try to keep the pack together and on track. Otter hunting takes place on foot, obviously, along rivers and streams.
So, well, why use this dog? Why not use a golden retriever or a boxer or something?
Well, they picked otter dogs, you see, because they can actually smell the varmints even when they go in the water. Once the dogs get the scent of the critter, they get real excited, and they follow their noses. See? They got really big noses.
Oh, yeah.
And once they get going, you can hear them baying. Oh! master because that's the way they've been trained.
Huh. Sounds complicated. And what do they do when they catch an otter? Do they eat them?
No, actually, they don't usually let them. When they get near the otter, they block the hounds with a bunch of folks holding sticks. They call these greens, and they block off the dogs so they can't actually get to the otter, and then the huntsman actually spears the otter himself. Ooh. Sometimes nets are used for getting the otters. They keep the head and the feet as kind of a trophy, see?
Some trophy? I wish I had a few otter feet to hang on my wall.
Well, the church said they could eat them on Fridays and Saturdays when they're supposed to eat fish, because they live in the water too.
So how do you get these dogs to hunt?
Well, you usually hook a young dog to an older experienced hound, who then takes his charge along on the hunt. Basically, the pup will either sink or swim. Get my point? Helps them pay attention to the work at hand so they don't wander off to some other scent.
Sink or swim? Must be a pretty rare breed.
It is.
So how do you keep them, the Otterhounds?
We keep them in a kind of shed or barn with the boys and the girls kept separate. There are these young men who take care of the dogs. They sleep with them, so they know what's going on, keeps them from fighting and stuff like that. The royal master of the Otterhounds gets his own house, given to him by the queen, so he actually lives pretty high and mighty.
So what do you feed an Otterhound?
Well, like most everybody else, they eat forage and barnyard animals.
And do all the dogs in the hunt pack look like this one?
Not exactly. Some of the hounds are the same ones used for stag hunting, which is the southern hound. Any cur dog that will hunt an otter are in the pack along with some terrier types that would go to ground after the otter. Mixed packs are usual instead of just purebred Otterhounds.
Hey, can you make any money with these Otterhounds? My husband's out of work.
Well, the huntsman's paid 2 pence a day, and his assistant gets 3 halfpence. 3 farthings a day is allowed for the upkeep on each hound.
Okay, never mind. He'll just stay on unemployment.
Well, the upkeep from the pack comes from an annual charge on the crown from the county.
Oh, like a gasoline tax.
Well, what's gasoline?
Never mind.
Anyway, sometimes the queen will send her pack under the care of a sheriff to hunt otter, and then the upkeep is paid by the city.
Wow, the pack is pretty valuable to their owner, the queen.
You've got that right. Well, thanks for holding my dog. I appreciate it. This dog needs to get back to his pack, so I better get going. Guess you learned a lot about Otterhounds that you never knew before, didn't you?
Thanks for the information. I'll see you and Jack out on the river.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye-bye.